Cast your votes right now for the 8th Annual Baltimore Music Awards.
The Baltimore Music Awards is something that's thrown every year to acknowledge you. Yes, you out there for your talents and your efforts and your achievements that you do.
You decide the winners in this 2018 competition.
Every year when it comes to music, entertainment, radio personality, model, or from any of that perspective, you know, we're here to celebrate you. And you know, it's funny because when this first started 8 years ago, you know, a lot of people thought that it couldn't happen.
The 8th Annual Baltimore Music Awards.
We need to acknowledge our people out there, you know, but in our own community, it was something needed.
Watch the results show Sunday, December the 16th at 12 noon via RadioOnFire.com or BaltimoreMusicAwards.com.
Hello everyone. I missed you all first of all, but here I am, Angie Winder, your host for the RTV radio show right here on the Radio on Fire broadcast in the studio. We are here with some great announcements, with some great news and a great special guest. I do want to say that my co-host, Brother Nance, is holding it down, doing some great things in the community. So he may come in late or he may not, but he is doing some wonderful things in the community, and he called to say he really wanted to be here on time. But he is helping some organizations with some great things to go on with this holiday coming up. Speaking of the holiday, you all know sometimes this can be a really hard time to, you know, with your family. You may have had a loss of a family member, and this is always the hardest time of the year. And so I am here with a special guest and a good friend, Mr. Rodney Carr, and he is here to talk about his program and things that they're doing throughout the year, as well as upcoming holiday time. And so I want to thank you for coming on the show and being our guest on today.
Well, thank you for having me. You're
very welcome. So his organization is iCARRE Foundation. I've been mixing the name, the care and the car, but it's all good. So I wanted to just make sure that we all know. I will be making sure that we know the phone number. You can call in, you can talk, and just give some encouragement, or just talk about, you know, anything that are going on in the community as far as any holiday initiatives that you all have. This is definitely the time of the year that we want to make sure that we support all kind of organizations. The phone number, we always love to have callers. The phone number is 404-436-1277. The minute that I share my video from the studio, please share it like crazy, because we want to make sure as many families are blessed, not only from the iCARRE Foundation, but any other things that are going on that you can help with. We want to make sure that we will be great villagers that are going to be helping a lot of people. I do have some people on my feed, but just make sure that you just share that main video. And so, Rodney, I first met you in person at an event, and so I know that you're always out in the community. I commend you for all the things that you're doing, and every partner that you have linked up with. The more the merrier. We talk about all the time about collaboration. Absolutely. And I think that's what made your organization really stand out for me to have you on the show, is because it was collaborating with so many organizations as well as giving back. So if we're going to talk about your organization, like the history, how did it get started, why did you start it, why did you choose the name, and so forth. So if we can start there, and then we'll go into. So
you want us to start with the history?
The history.
Well, iCARRE Foundation was created, we're in our 4th year, so in 2014, October 2014. So we're now in our 4th year. It was created, I was working nights for the Washington, D.C. metro system, and one night it just was like, is this it for me? Is this all I'm gonna do? Walking on these cold tracks with -10-degree weather, and I just wasn't all that motivated. I knew I had to find an exit plan. I knew this was not going to be it wasn't my passion. It wasn't my purpose. It wasn't fulfilling. I hated the job. I loved the money. Don't get me wrong. That was the easiest 6 figures I could ever make it work. But I hated the job. I hated leaving my family at night, going out on the tracks, coming back in the morning, everybody else doing everything else they was doing with their day while I was sleeping. But I think it was birthed way before that, because maybe even as far back as when I was a kid, because I had a dad who just always would come and collect all the kids in the neighborhood and take us up on the baseball field and play. He'd be the only adult up there playing ball with us, and that's just the type of dad I had. He was very kid friendly, so the apple didn't fall far from the tree. As a youngster, as a young parent, I wanted to feel, I had to find out how to be a father. And I knew that the best way for me to be a dad was to do what I knew what to do. And what I knew, when I came up, I came up as an athlete, I was a soldier, so playing ball. So I got my son involved with sports. He was 5 years old, playing sports, playing basketball, baseball, football, and I was that parent that was on the sideline that was always giving instruction, right? And one day the guys and I knew I was extra, because that's just who I am. I'm very extra sometimes. And
it's okay to be extra.
Yeah, but I knew I wanted him to compete, and so I kept giving him instruction, and it was the right instruction, but it wasn't a good look for those coaches. The coaches got kind of upset and was like, man, you think you know everything, won't you come down here and help us? So guess what I did? I got out of them bleachers right then and there, and I started helping, and we started winning. And then the following year, I got my own team, and the rest was history. So from the age of 5 to 15, I had a core group of like 5 or 6 kids, including my little cousin that was more like a nephew to me or a son to me. And those kids went, they was at my house every day, before practice, after practice. I fed them, haircuts, clothes, taking some on vacations, all the way up to that core group. They all got into, so when they was 15, they had all got into different high schools, you know, some like my son went to St. Francis. We had one that went to St. Joe, another one went to Loyola. So I felt like I had did my due justice. I was like, I'm not that type of coach. I'm not as good as those coaches are. I did my job. So I stopped coaching, and after a while, there was a void in my life. I was missing the kids. I tried to start back up coaching, but it wasn't the same, because it wasn't that core group, and those core groups were my cousin and my son and those kids, so it wasn't the same. But I knew I needed to make a difference, because I knew one of the things that happened was my wife, who's an addictions counselor, she started talking about how they were getting younger and younger coming into the program she was working at. And I started getting involved with the mentoring program at my church at Morning Star. And then I went back to my school, my high school, Baltimore City College, City Forever. Yeah. No.
Look, now we're going to have a problem here.
So I went back to City and got involved with the Alumni Association. I found my niche, which was the young men's group. And I got involved with that. But what I found is the church and the school, they were just, their only thing that they were involved with was the church and the school, right? The school was worried about, the school mentoring group was worried about grades and getting them to college. The church was in that box, Bible and the Jesus. But my thing was going back to what my wife was talking about, how they're getting younger and younger coming into the program. I'm like, what are we doing to help them deal with outside these walls, right? What are we doing with helping them deal with the inner them? And it was like, we need to do more. And it was calling on me to do more. So instead of trying to get them to do more, I decided to do more. So
that's wonderful.
So on those night shifts, I started writing. Actually, let me go back a little bit. I have a good friend of mine who played ball with me up City, class of '88, by the name of Chew Smith. Chew Smith was a former Harlem Globetrotter. And I reached out to him. It was an event that we had at City. And I remember, and I was like, wow, Chu was doing all this incredible stuff. And me and him talked half of that event. And I was just picking his brain. How did you do this? And he was like, man, just let me know. I said, I want to do something like this. He said, well, let me know. Aww. So it took about 2 years. And I had created my logo. I had got some different stuff. I knew, because I had an LLC, so I knew I had got my nonprofit. I didn't get my nonprofit status, but what I did is I actually reached out and got some information, and I had my logo on my shirt and my briefcase, and I had my little brochure. And he said he told me to get a meeting, right? But he gave me the number to. I don't even call her his assistant, but she was the nuts and bolts behind Chu Smith, and her name is Carr Bullock. And I was like, you giving me the number to your assistant? Like, but I'm your boy. Like I kind of got offended, right? But I didn't know any better, because now I'm trying to get to that place where, like, call my assistant. I'm tired of all these phone calls, these emails and texts. It burns me out during the day. So I made the phone call in spite of my feelings. And she scheduled a meeting. And I'm like thinking that he wasn't even going to be there, right? I'm thinking, oh, he's so Mr. Important, but he was there. And I'm thinking I got all my stuff together. And I'm thinking I created this program, because I did all this writing in 2 weeks. And I created this program that I was going to be able to support and support his organization, because what I wanted to create was our youth and young adults in the substance use intervention prevention, right? And I thought I had it together, and he started doing this, and and do this, and I was like, I was heated. I was so heated, right?
He was
but
you.
I didn't show my feelings. I didn't show my emotions. And he was like, that was a good test for you, because he was like, you know how many people come to me for help, and when I take them into the room and I tear them all up, and how they respond is really good as if I'm going to continue to work with them. And I responded like, okay, I'm going to take what you give me, and I'm going to get better, and I'm going to do better.
Right.
And he was like, that was big for me. And they took my hand, because I'm the type of guy, I'm more hands-on. I'm on the job training. I don't do well with books and stuff like that. I got to learn it. I'm a on-hands learner. And I was like, no, you can't call me and tell me to do about that. You have to show me. And that's what they did. They sat down and they took my hand and showed me how to create my business and create iCARRE Foundation and get it better. And over the last 4 years, it's just constantly evolving into something that I couldn't even imagine it being. So now where we at, we have 2 transition houses.
Wow, look at that.
Because what I knew is, when I first started, the mentoring program was the engine, right? We created this mentoring program because I love kids, right? The transition house was supposed to be my wife, baby. You know, she's the addictions counselor. You're going to do that. And, but she's still going to school, right? She's working full-time, going to school, and we got grandkids, right? Wow, like 6. I looked and counted them, and they were like 6. Like, yeah.
6 grandkids.
Yeah.
Look at you.
Yeah, 6 grandkids, right?
Right.
The apple of my eyes, them 2 little granddaughters, them babies, they just get whatever they want from Pop. But to bring it back, right? What happened is the transition, how I knew as we was going through the mentoring program, because that was the first thing for the first 2-3 years in the mentoring program, but we wasn't getting any money. I was writing, but I thought I was a pretty good. No, I'm not to toot my own horn, but I think I'm a pretty good writer. I know I am, because I was getting some grants. So I didn't get a grant writer or nothing. I was like, man, I can write. I know how to create the narrative. And but now that we're growing, and it's like, no, I need some real professional help, right, with this. But it's my vision. I got to cultivate the vision, and I need people that can understand and help.
Isn't that hard, though?
Yes.
That's probably my hardest thing to do, is that I know how I want something.
Yeah.
And then now I don't say to depend on someone else, but you have to if you're trying to grow.
But I can't have them write it. I got to write the beginning draft.
Yeah, like a draft.
and let them
tweak it.
But now that I got some things in place, like some templates that I've used that works. that I can grasp from. If you want to learn something about it, just give me a call, because I'm obligated to teach the same way somebody taught me, not these so-called consultants who don't even know, don't even get that.
That might be another
don't even
show.
have no experience in the business, but you're a consultant. I'm not even gonna go there with that. But what we're doing is the mentor program started showing me how the business should be ran, and I thank God for my pastor, Dr. Dante Duckett, because he created that Rites of Passage program at Morning Star. We branched off and started our own church 3 years ago called New Kingdom Faith Christian Church, and he took me under his wing, like literally, like grabbed his hand, and he's one of my best friends. My business
So where's
partner.
the church located?
The church is located in Glen Burnie. Matter of fact, we just left Severn giving out gift baskets and Thanksgiving baskets and stuff like that. Yeah. So for me, I have a global mindset. I'm a veteran, right? I've been around the world. What we're building and creating is I love Baltimore, but it's much bigger than Baltimore for me. It's a need, especially me as a veteran, because we've been in war for 28 years.
Yeah.
We have a lot of damaged soldiers coming back. PTSD is real.
Oh yeah.
PTSD is real.
I talk about PTSD just period.
No,
like
just here.
I want to say just period.
Well,
yeah.
Well, we already know about the trauma and everything. Now they're finally getting it. The health, the SAMHSA.
Oh my gosh.
And I hope I'm not going over people's heads and a little bit, but
it's actually good because we're talking about holidays. We're talking about that PTSD. If this is, and I kind of said it in the beginning, this is like the hardest time of the year.
Yes.
And I know people say, well, hey, sometimes they don't like when people are, like organizations are doing things for the community or for families during this time of the year. They think it should be all throughout the year. And it's like, who says it wasn't all throughout the year?
Of course.
And
so, we are.
But I'm just saying, like, that's just the things that people are saying. And it's just like, are you even, like, everybody I bring in, I know that they're doing 24/7, 365 days. And so this is definitely, like I said, the time of the year where you could have lost someone through trauma or sickness or whatever, but this time of the year is very hard, holiday wise. And when we talk about PTSD, it is real. I had a moment last night, just like, from the 5-year-old girl, and didn't have to lose a 5-year-old, but just looking at my 3-year-old, I couldn't imagine.
I know.
You understand?
We were just talking about that.
My
babies,
and PTSD. I lost my husband, so I have had losses, like I'm sure a lot of people have. And this time of the year, why not have someone that can help you and to encourage you, to let you know that you can get to the next level?
See, and that's the great thing about what we did today, right? We were out giving up, but it's not that it don't stop there.
Bigger.
See, with those families, this is the beginning of of cultivating a relationship. See, we're in a relationship business, right? We have to build relationship because
absolutely, I've heard
because
that.
people have pride, people have trust issues, right?
Yes.
They want to know what you. They want to know what's your motive, and my motive is just to help you, right? Because the blessings always come back, right? When I say I started this business, I started this company with a negative $120 in my bank account 4 or 5 years ago, a negative, and everybody thought I was crazy, right? But I just knew. I just always used the analogy of when Jesus told them to drop the nets, right? And you have to be obedient. You have to move when he say move. You cannot sit still. You gotta
That's a reason he was on my show tonight.
You gotta move when he say move, because if you don't if you don't become, that's a part of the obedience. You have the trust factor. Like I haven't made $1 in iCARRe Foundation. iCARRe Foundation has not made $1. I'm able to now do it full time, but it's not because iCARRe Foundation is making any money, right? It's just a blessing. Like when I pray, I ask God to send the resources. I don't ask for money, right? I thank God for that I have a Dr. Dante as my pastor who taught me that. Like, don't worry about the stuff. Like, the money is not the thing. I'm doing this because I have the energy. So when I'm up 5 o'clock in the morning, when I come home at 10 o'clock at night, right? It's Monday through Saturday. Sundays I'm still working because I'm a deacon, right? So the people in my transition houses, I got to pick them up and bring them to church because that's a requirement. So I'm still working. So it's no
Where
days
are your
off.
transitional houses located?
That's why some people don't even know where.
Is it in the city?
Yeah,
or?
we're in Town.
Okay.
We're in Monroe Street, right off of Monroe Street, Presbyterian.
Okay.
I just can't. I'll keep referencing this man because he means so much to me, and it's not just the man; it's just the God in him, and what him and his church have done to me, New Kingdom have done for me and my family and our lives. Because I know as the man, when the man is strong, everything that surrounds that man is strong. I didn't create this thing. God created this. It goes God, man, then the family, right? So when the man, and that's what I see in our community. We have to build these men up, because these little boys that's out here that's doing these shootings based off of their feelings and their emotions don't know how to take a look at themselves, and nobody did this to them, and they still got some inner feelings about where mommy is at. Mommy's on crack, and daddy's been gone and
They're
locked up.
with life.
And they have some insecurities about their girlfriend. She got a job and a car and an apartment, and you still in the basement. And you can't imagine.
There are a lot,
some very insecure men.
Even with the, and I would say that, but even what you said in the beginning, your father.
Yeah.
That's the difference when a lot of them don't have it. And it's not to even make an excuse for them. It's just to say that you know how much that man in your life meant to you, or or even everyone you're referencing, your pastor. You're referencing men in your life. Yeah. And sometimes a lot of them don't have a male figure, because it don't have to be a father. I mean, I didn't grow up with my mother, but I think that I'm an exceptional mother because, one, I've had women in my life that I was able to, and so you have to, just, again, pouring into the men, the young men, the boys, pouring into them all, even as girls.
Absolutely.
My gosh, the girls. I'm about to say yes.
The girls need the dad. But that's where the missing link is, because my dad wasn't there. Like I said, this thing goes way deeper. I knew my dad died of an overdose from a heroin overdose when I was 12 years old, right? Substance abuse has ran rampant through my family, including myself, right? So from my own experience, I knew that as my life turned around, I had to be able to do the same thing, that the way people never gave up on me. They never, my family and my friends,
your village,
they never gave up on me. So who am I when the people come to me damaged and beat down? Who am I to turn away? Like the other day, somebody asked, "Well, why did you let this person in your house?" I'm like, "Who am I to when God sent them to me? Who am I to turn them away?" Right? So I do what I'm supposed to do. If they don't follow. And I never put anybody out. I never put them out. I just put the pressure on them. It's like, okay, you messed up, but now I'm going to demand more from you, right? I demand better from you. But
that's a blessing because just having like accountability and like you said, the pressure. But even when I was the PTA president at Mervo, and I missed them. I miss y'all, Mervo. I'm here with the city. But one thing that I really loved was being able to talk to them. Yeah. Being able to sit there and like put the pressure on them. Absolutely. Get the class, like the mother figure. And some of them didn't even have a mother to do that.
Absolutely.
Or a father, whomever, a family. There were some don't have a home. Yeah. I mean, it's real. And these are high schoolers, and they sat there and respected Miss Angie, who was fussing at them. Make sure y'all get the class. Let me see your report card. Oh, I don't have it. All right, I want to see it next time.
They just need some affirmation.
And they weren't disrespectful.
That's what they need. They need somebody to show that they care. And what I do is I always try to find the angle. What is it that you like, that you love? Yes. And let's cultivate that. Let's practice on getting you wins, right? I'm not going to focus on what's wrong. Yeah. Let's focus on what's right, because if you keep
got enough of that negative.
We already know you're smoking weed and you sleeping around and you partying too much and you still carrying the guns and all right, I get that, but let's focus on because the first thing you're here, like see, because that young adult, man, like it's really those young adults is really missing, because look at. Tomorrow, I'll be 48 years old.
Woo, 48.
I'll be 48 tomorrow, right? Y'all got a chance. Shameless plug. Let me come on down to What's So Funny Wednesdays down at Capitol Lounge. I love those guys, man. China Mike, man, Beezy, man, Chris. I just love them guys, man. They just, them young boys, man. I learn a lot from them. Them guys, I learn a lot from them guys. So,
and isn't it nice to? Well, I just love the fact that you said that you learn from them.
Yeah.
And we have to understand that we can learn from younger ones and older ones. Don't think that, like, I learned so much just from listening to someone younger. We can sit there and say what someone needs, what someone, what their needs are. If they're not at the table, if they're not sitting there and we're not listening to them, we'll never get anywhere. I even go any further. I would go further. And I know this might be. And isn't it nice to? I had my daughter, the 3-year-old, on the live video. There are things that even she says that inspires me. Yeah, I learned something from a 3-year-old because I take the time to listen. She's innocent right now. She's a little bad one, but she's innocent. And just the things that she says. Like one time, we getting ready to go to bed. I was just so tired, and it was like, we didn't say our prayers. I mean, just little things that a 3-year-old. Right. You understand? And so we have to make sure that we don't sit here and like you just said, judging them. Yeah. We know you can up and down say, yes, this person's doing X, Y, Z. Let's get past that. Yeah, let's get past the judging. Judging people.
Because at 40 years old, I got my first mentor. Like, I officially, because I remember some men that showed up. I mean, look, I got a whole host of uncles on my father's side, right? But I just didn't really connect with them too much because I gravitated to the streets. So I really didn't, even though, I went to the best of schools, but I always gravitated to the streets. So I really didn't, and then I have a case of, I still suffer with it. My assistant and my wife probably will tell you that, the case of know-it-all-itis. Know-it-all-itis. Yeah, I'm the smartest man in the room, and I'm very stubborn, and I have the answer, and I'm learning to as my team is building and molding, right, and I'm learning to let go of the reins and trust, right, and empower and help them develop and give them a voice, right, so that my wife probably will disagree with that, but I listen to her, and everybody, I always reference her a lot because she taught me so much. I mean, the biggest thing she taught me, she helped me turn my life around, right. I will forever be in debt and grateful for that, because without her, I might be dead. Like I really might be dead. But the way I was going, I was trying to kill myself a little bit at a time. Yeah. So without her, I would be dead. And
that's what a lot of people are like, that self-destruction. Yeah. The depression, all of that.
So I can relate. So that's where I don't have a problem. See, at one time I didn't want to, because it was a lot of people who didn't really know what was going on with me. They heard rumors and stuff like that, but I kept it. I didn't share it, right? But now it's my story, and it's my power, and it's power in the story, in the fall, because the power is in how I got up, and not even on my own, right? So that's what I share with every young person I come across. Where's your mentor? Why you don't have a mentor? You should have more than one mentor. I got a mentor in finances. I got a spiritual mentor. I have a mentor. I have different mentors that gives me different things, and I pour into them, and they pour into me. Absolutely. So as I'm giving to them, we got a saying. They say when A helps B, B actually helps A the most. So as I'm helping these kids, I get more from the kids than what I get from them. Some of the services that we provide, like I said, with the mentoring program. So we work with, we're in the Matthew Henson community deep, right? Okay, yeah. I'm a board member, like in a year and a half. They saw some value in me, right? So a Northeast Baltimore dude in Sandtown. And they saw some value in what I was bringing to the community, man. Shout out to Doc Cheatham. We butt heads all the time.
And that's all right.
But that's Doc Cheatham. Everybody know. But I guess he saw something of value in me, because I wasn't backing down, and I knew.
Got tagged him in a video.
Yeah, I knew he wasn't going back down, but he always challenges me. See, I don't like yes people, right? And we know Doc ain't a yes person. So he challenges me to be better, and he pours into me, and he's like, man, I want you to be the next president, man. I'm like, man, I don't know about all that, right? Because our board and our membership is old, right? I need some of these young people to get involved. That's what I love about what you do. You encourage me and motivate me. See how my man China Mike and them just like, guys, we need to get involved. No matter, you don't have to be an expert in nothing. Just share your opinion and what you think, and be willing and have an open mind to learn. And that's where I'm at now. I'm like, okay, I got an opinion on this, but it might not be right, but I'm going to voice my opinion and show me something differences because I agree to disagree. I understand I'm not right all the time. So I'm a board member with Matthew Henson Neighborhood Association and the CDC. Okay. We mentor at Matthew Henson Elementary School. Shout out to Principal Miller, another City Forever, Miss Darlene Copeland.
Look, you ain't gonna keep one.
But that's how our connection is, right? And everybody knows that. They call us kind of cool. But City, that's what we do, City College. Like, without City College, I would be no. That's one of the top 5 best decisions I ever made in my life, was to go to City College. The other one was to go to the United States Army. Because if not, when I went in the Army, my 2 closest friends was killed. So God was always having his hand on me. I knew I would have been there with either one or both of them, right? My 2 best friends was killed. So I know how he's always covered me and shown me and lead me in a direction. So now that I have this relationship with him, I just trust him, and like, so I just move, and so now some people call it cockiness. I mean, I've always been a very confident guy. So some will say I'm cocky or I'm arrogant, and like, you don't know, I was skinny and black, and we didn't have no money. And
they don't even know the story.
Buck teeth, and I had low self-esteem. I still struggle in some areas with some insecurities and all that, but I just continue to move in confidence, not in myself, but in God. So when I move and I make moves and expectations with the money or without the money, like I said, now that we're developing a whole behavioral health organization. Like we're going through accreditation now, and to better be able to provide services for people. What we're building, this thing is because we know mental health is the biggest problem in our community.
Yes.
Right. It involves substance abuse and the mental illness, and those that are diagnosed and undiagnosed, those that are not addressing it, right? So because it don't look the same way for everybody. So now our people are getting open to addressing their issues, right? Because guess what? Because I share my story. I come in the door, mom, children, I'm going to share you my story, where I come from, how I still see a therapist every week. Yes. Yeah, because I can be crazy, right? Somebody got to. So I might need one. But that's good. Again, thank God for the United States Army, because of that, I'm able to see a therapist, right? The knee replacement. As a veteran, right? It's just worked out for me. So I owe it to those that's coming behind me. I gotta do this. I have. See, when you come to a point where you gotta do the work, right? See, I wake up on Monday mornings excited about what the week looks like, right? I used to, when I had the job, I gotta
stay with him.
I'm telling you, I just do. I'd be so pumped up, like between Sunday morning, I'd be like, man, Monday, this thing I look at my calendar, oh yeah, this gonna be one of them weeks, right? And all the possibilities that the week has in store for me. Like, I'm kind of mad because of the holiday, because it's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I'm like, man, what's going on? Like, it's gonna be a slow week. I love what I do. It wakes me up in the morning, and it keeps me woke at night. My brain just never turned off.
So listen, when you said that, that's my confirmation. I don't think I sleep.
No,
I literally want to think, and I get now. I might have the Monday blues, but I do get there where I'm just sitting there thinking, what can I do? What can I finish? What can I get started? Who can I do? Whatever. It's always all kinds of. I don't care. I could probably get 2 hours of sleep, and as long as I have my little coffee sometimes, and I get to work. I get to work, and but I'm off the chain. I'm like, I'm sitting here going all over. My supervisor's like, okay, and I get the work done. But to know that you are passionate about something, it's nothing that can even explain what keeps you up late at night, and and don't make you tired. It may catch up, but it is such a blessing to know that you can help and that you are being a blessing. One thing that you said was power in the story. I've been taking notes,
I love that. I do love that.
Power in the story. And so when I'm talking, I was saying a few years now, but it wasn't always. And so it's good to hear. It's good to even talk about it.
Yeah.
Look at this.
It's good therapy.
Look at the interview. You kind of you kind of helped your own self sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I sit there, and when you said power in the story, that is my why. That is my the reason that I ran and will be running again. That is the reason that I can be east, west, north, south, because I love people.
Yeah.
I love the things that are going on. And I know some people say, yeah, stay in your district. That's a politician talking.
Okay, yeah, that's bull.
That is bull.
Yeah, it is.
And the reason I'm going to say that, not to say that I'm limiting myself because I'm only one person. I get that. But there are times where I did things for someone over west and south, and it was a family in my district that they can say, look, she's good people.
Yeah.
You just never know.
Absolutely.
They call it what, small temple. Like, it is so small here. You just never know. And so it's always good to know that. But the power in the story, we're getting ready to have a sermon here.
Yeah.
It is such a blessing when I can go back and listen to what I've said, or the fact that I can talk about my husband in a different way, because I never was, of course, we have Facebook Live then, but this is 16 years ago. Didn't have Facebook Live, but I can look at my letters. I can look at my journal. I was in a dark place.
Wow.
I was in a place where, like you say, your wife has been a blessing. I was in a place that if I had my family, hands down, is the best. They're my support, my village, my friends that are close to me, the ones that say, you got this. There's no one better to do X, Y, Z. That is what you need.
Absolutely.
You need someone to tell you, stop doing X, Y, Z, stop doubting yourself, stop whatever, critique you.
Yeah.
Because
Absolutely.
that's what's going to push you to the next level.
Absolutely.
We'll get too comfortable, in one spot. iCARRE would never have been, of course it was always there, but it would never have been birthed because you may not have had the confidence or the direction.
Yeah.
And even with me with Restoring the Village, or even with me even thinking that I was going to run for an office, never in a million years did I think that I was going to do that. And it only helped me know that I could do all things through Christ.
Yeah.
you know what? We about to go. So my point is, again, going back to even the holidays, some people just need to know that they can do all things.
Wow.
You
so
know?
let me share with you this about this, speaking of the holidays, right?
Yeah, yes.
So last year, again, these brothers, man, I just keep referencing because God just put good people in my life. That's how I know I'm on the right track.
Yes.
Brother Stephen Green, Mike Foy, Eric Randall, and they gave away a car, right, for Christmas to a family. That thing moved me so much. It was so moving to see what one car could do for a family, right? And around about 2 or 3 months ago, because I always got to respect, and I know my lane and try to stay in my lane. So I reached out to those brothers and made sure that I was like, oh, you guys
That's
still
good.
doing that this year, because we wanted to do something. We was going to do something similar, because why not another car, right? So me and my partners wanted to do it. We were looking to to work with them, but it was like, well, why don't we do it ourselves? Because I need to share with you, my partners, Car Source 18, which is my brother, Tommy Bennett, Focus Movers, my man, Carr, like these two brothers, like there is really no transitional house program without them two.
That's good.
Like really, like I didn't have the money. They invested in me. We own both of our properties, right? With no rent, right? course, we got contracts and everything.
Yeah.
But, right, they trusted the vision that I had, and they invested in me financially. I never knew somebody would invest in me like that. I thought I was going to have to do all this on my own. As board members, right? Those guys, I just thought I didn't know the value of just asking for help, right? And
being okay with
those guys just invested in me and poured into me and the vision. And when that second house, because the first house is my brother's wife's house, right? Which is their house. And it was given to her from her grandmother who passed away, right? Or what's the word I'm looking for when the people leave something to you?
like an estate.
Estate. It was given an estate. So it was like, well, just do what you need to do with it, Rodney. So I had my little $7,000 that I saved up, and I just poured into it, not knowing what I was really doing, but I had the vision.
Right.
And I had one guy who knew what he was doing. And we was doing it. And I was like, all I can afford to pay you is $60, $70 a day. And he tried to stretch it, and I was like, don't worry about it. I can do the rest, right? So we did that. The second house, my second client was a guy that I hung in the streets with. And his father, right around the corner, his house, and he said, my dad could ready to sell a house. He kind of put me out. I'm doing bad. I'm back here, so I need somewhere to stay. And I helped him. And he said, my dad want to sell the house for $5,000. And I called my brother, the owner of Carr Source 18. And he was like, oh, just give me a call. Let me know what it's about. I said, all right. So I kept following through. He said, just let me know. Just keep me abreast. I'm like, what is he talking about? I don't have the money. I just poured all my money into this house. But he kept saying, so I just said, okay, we're going to keep going through the process. We went through the contract. We got, shout out to Sharif Small.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Him and his wonderful wife, man. She walked me through the whole process, and we purchased the house. When we closed them for $6,500, I called my brother. I was like, I got the contract in hand. What we going to do? I only had like $3,000.
Just like that, stepping out on faith kind
He was like, come get this money, man. Come get $3,200. Said, call Carr. Carr got the rest. I was like, what? I don't have to put it. It's like, man, put it in the iCARRE Foundation name. That's nothing but God. Yeah. Right? Of course, they gotta get their money back, just not yet. Yeah. But we have an investment. They invested in the vision and the dream. And Carr, and they had invested in the baseball program, the mentoring program, showing up at Reader Church Community Center, mentoring these young boys and these young men. Man, Carr let me use the truck for any events that I need. Like the team, right? The team is expanded with New Kingdom Faith Christian Church, the Hope Missions that's on there. And as we develop in this collaborative healing, going through this accreditation, we created a LLC, a separate company with collaborative healing, because it's a collaboration of us
and people
that's going to heal.
Yeah,
right?
people see that.
Like some people be thinking, like I don't mind sharing and being transparent, because people be thinking, I don't have no money, I'm broke. Right? Because people invest in it.
Because of God in you.
And the God and the people, they invested in me. My church, they invest in me. So I remember the first back to school drive we did. My church bought the book bags. My pastor just told me to he said, man, just do it. You want to do it? Do it. Because I wanted to do it. Yeah. Right? And I set up one speaker and was powered off of the battery of the radio of my truck running the engine. And I had my phone playing the music. And he pulled up with a U-Haul truck with 100 book bags. And we had fruit and breakfast bars and something that we still do every event we had. Yeah. Healthy eating. Because our community don't really know about how to eat healthy. Right? So we always do breakfast bars, fruit and water. Right.
It's actually a good thing, because and I just say, just the evidence of God just working. Yeah. I had someone, I was just telling you about the little girl that was shot.
God bless.
I had someone,
bless her.
Yes. we had someone on the comments. I just had to pull away. I just don't do negativity.
Yeah.
And to even sit there and just say, you know, see, prayer not working. And I'm just like, whoa.
Oh my gosh.
I said, whoa,
Yeah.
you know, devil, get off my page. Yeah. And so just to make sure, the hardest thing, I don't know for you, but the hardest thing for me is the staying, well, it's not hard now, but it was. The hardest thing for me was that staying focused. Mm-hmm. If God showed you, like he said, Angie, you're going to do X, Y, Z, you're going to have people saying all these things to get you off track. Yeah. But you're staying focused. Mm-hmm. And you're getting the work done because God is in the midst of it. And he's going to show you the people. He's going to get them out your way.
Absolutely.
And he's going to give you help. And that's what you just showed.
And that's what
you just kind of told me.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to have, and that is a powerful
yes.
testimony, because anybody can do anything they put their mind to. You keep it in prayer. If God has told you that, believe me, he's going to deliver it.
And trust the people that he sent.
And trust the people
that he sent.
And have a spirit of discernment, because my block list is almost as long as my, you know, but again, some things you just got to do to keep the focus, you know, to stay on it. And that doesn't mean you're being cocky. It doesn't mean you're being smart. It just means, for my personal thing for me, you know, just to stay focused, is I have to let some of that negativity go. And so I thank you for, you know, just all the things that you're doing, the stepping out on faith and the staying to it. Yeah. Because we can step out and then abort it. And you've stuck with it. Absolutely. You know, and that is a great blessing. And everyone that you said, I know you're going to give me partners, but I want to talk about the giveaway, qualifications, why. Well, we all kind of say why, but you know, know how we can anyone can either help or be a part of it. So with this Christmas card giveaway, right? We're giving away a card. Like I said, we piggyback off of what some brothers already did. And now they're doing it again this year, and I thank them for their support, just showing and giving us some guidance. And so Car Source 18, my brother, he's a car broker, right? And so we get these cars. I was like, man, what about one of them cars that we have? Because we always speak in we now, right? Mm-hmm. We, that's right. So what about one of those cars we have, right? Because people will say like, well, he got 3 cars and a 20-passenger bus. They got no, we don't have no money. You know how much that insurance costs, right? So we decided to have a write-in campaign. So with the write-in campaign, what we wanted to do is have single moms, right? Because I just had one of my best friends just talk about how he feels when a single mother is on the bus stop 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning with her babies driving. Like, do you imagine what a car could do for her and her family? Yeah. Right? She could be much rested, more sleep, get you back and forth, be safe, because we already know safety is a big issue in our city. Yeah. So what we did was we're doing a write-in campaign. So people are writing in on behalf of somebody. You can't write in for yourself. Yeah. You have to write into our email, which is iCARRE, that's ICARRE, found, FOUND.org. So we do a write-in campaign. They write in and on behalf of somebody and tell the story, right? Whether it's give me a story, or give me some of the background, who the person is, their education, their job, what's the kids like. I want to be able to get a feel for what this family is like, right? Yeah. And how we can best help them. So making it personal. The sad part about it is we've only got about 20 emails, right? And I'm like, why not more people are writing in on behalf of somebody, even though it's only one car, right? Do something for somebody else, right? Somebody needed, because we have more to just giving away a car, right? So with the cars, we're gonna dwindle it down to, I think on December 15th. No, I hate that word. On December 15th, we're gonna dwindle it down to 3. Okay. Right, we're going to contact those 3. Right, we're going to do. So it's kind of like a deadline on the 15th. like they couldn't.
Yeah, the last write-in. We're going to make a
sure I put
decision
that
to the
on.
last 3, right?
Okay.
We're going to contact those 3. We're going to contact every person,
Okay.
every person to write in, because we have all the services that iCARRE Foundation provide. We want to provide for those families, right? Because if somebody is writing in about why we, and some of the backstory, wow. That was some of the word, again, Dr. Dante, that backstory, right? What's the backstory? How did you get here? How can we help you get you out of your situation? How can we help you prosper? How do we get our people out of poverty?
Yeah.
Our people are in poverty, right? A $12 an hour job ain't getting it. So let's address your education. Let's address your hours, your decisions, your resume, your interview skills, your dress, how you're working with your kids. What's your village look like around your kids? Allow us to be part of your village. That's what I'm always telling them. Like, allow us to be part of your village, because we need a village. At 40 years old, I realized I needed a village. And I don't want that to be for anybody else, right? So how about let's get you in some counseling and help, because we do PRP, right? And that's I don't like even saying the word, because PRP is psychiatric rehabilitation program, but that's what that allows us to do that, right? To do those services, but also what it does, it allows us to bring more to the table for you. Let's share some things, because I believe in breaking bread, right? Let's break some bread and let's eat and let's talk. Let's help you cultivate a plan. Let us be part of your accountability circle, because I'm going to hold you accountable. I'm going to check in with you. So to wrap things up real quick, what I wanted to do is share with you, again, we're going to support them. We're going to make a decision the week before Christmas, and we're going to share everything live and all of that, but we will be providing support services for all families that we're written in with. So, but I want to thank you for just having me here, really.
You're very welcome.
This is really big for me and the organization and my partner organization.
You're very welcome. You want to talk about, announce all of your partners so we won't miss anyone?
So we want to get, again, to wrap it up, some of our Carr Source 18 is Focus Movers, New Kingdom Faith Christian Church. Focus Movers, that's all your moving needs. Carr Source 18, that's all your car needs. Hope Missions, they do a lot of work, similar work to what we already do. A blue chip professional, all your consultant needs. This lady, Karen Bullock, is the owner of a blue chip. She just does amazing work. I shared some of the story of what she did for me in starting my organization, and she's still doing it now. Carr One, my guy Big Greg, he's over there in Essex, selling some big time cars.
I talk to him.
Yeah, I can't afford some of them cars but. And of course, Collaborative Healing, which is our baby that we're birthing now, that we just started as our LLC, as a branch of iCARRE Foundation, which allows us to do some of the. So we're doing that. We have all other kind of partners, like I said, Matthew Henson, Leonard Hicks Community Center. Shout out to Miss Sia Stevenson, all the work that she allows us to do with the summer camp and the after school program, Edgewood Elementary School. It's like, I get it. Wow. Sometimes I realize,
I know, that's what we do.
Yeah,
we do a lot of wobbling around here.
I'm all over the place. Yeah,
well,
that's what we
thank
do.
you. You gave a lot of great things on here. I've actually shared the flyer. I've actually shared our live video. Make sure you continue to share it. Make sure that you put some entries, anyone that you think can recommend it or can benefit from this. I want to thank, my guests for being on the show this evening. It is a great time to have organizations that are giving back and also doing this 365 days, okay? So I commend you and thank you for all the things you're doing. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in, for sharing it, and even those that are going to share it or view it later on. I want to thank also Radio on Fire broadcast for doing always an exceptional job putting this out to the community and also allowing us to spotlight great people in the community. We are here each and every Tuesday at 6:15. I thank you all for tuning in and hope you all have a great evening. Make sure that y'all tune in every Tuesday. Thank you.
Cast your votes right now for the 8th Annual Baltimore Music Awards.
The Baltimore Music Awards is something that's thrown every year to acknowledge you. Yes, you out there for your talents and your efforts and your achievements that you do.
You decide the winners in this 2018 competition.
Every year when it comes to music, entertainment, radio personality, model, or from any of that perspective, you know, we're here to celebrate you. And you know, it's funny because when this first started 8 years ago, you know, a lot of people thought that it couldn't happen.
The 8th Annual Baltimore Music Awards.
We need to acknowledge our people out there, you know, but in our own community, it was something needed.
Watch the results show Sunday, December the 16th at 12 noon via RadioOnFire.com or BaltimoreMusicAwards.com.